They were part of one of the most dangerous commands in the entire war. Night after night, they climbed into heavy bombers, bound for skies lit by flak and fire, striking deep into Nazi Germany when no one else could. This was Bomber Command, and at its heart, 9th Squadron. By the end of the war, over 850 men from 9th Squadron were dead, a staggering toll for a single unit, and for decades, Bomber Command's sacrifice remained in the shadows, their role controversial, their recognition withheld. But each of those 850 men had a name, a face, a family. Today, we remember 3 of them. John Alden Hinks was born in 1910 in Putney, South London, the son of Edward and Mildred Hinks. He was bright, disciplined and ambitious. A scholarship student at Cambridge, a member of the Officer Training Corps and a gifted swimmer. He joined the RAF Reserve in 1930 and spent the next decade rising steadily through the ranks, from trainee to officer, from technical staff to instructor, and eventually to a squadron leader in Bomber Command by 1940. It was a time of desperation. Hitler had swept across Europe and Britain stood largely alone. From early September 1940, 9th Squadron launched strikes against German invasion barges in the Channel ports and then deeper into the Reich itself. On the night of the 14th of October 1940, Hinks flew Vickers Wellington T-2464 out of RAF Honington. The target, the oil refineries at Magdeburg, Germany. But over enemy territory, his bomber was caught in searchlights and then attacked by night fighter Gerhard Herzog flying a Bf-110. Hinks' aircraft went down in flames. The full crew of 6 were killed. Squadron leader John Alden Hinks was 29 years old. He now rests in the Berlin War Cemetery. His grave bearing a proud inscription, Cambridge University Air Squadron, 1929 to 1934. He was a scholar, a leader, and one of the earliest of 9th Squadron's many losses. Henry Charles Dixey was born in 1924 in Bermondsey, South London, the son of Charles and Margaret Dixey. Just 19 years old when he died, he was one of the thousands of teenagers who answered the call. He trained as a flight engineer, a critical member of the Lancaster bomber crew. The flight engineer managed the engines, monitored fuel, and supported the pilot through the chaos of combat, a role that demanded calm, technical precision and courage. On the 9th of May 1944, Henry boarded Lancaster LM-520 at RAF Bardney. The target that night was the railway yards of Lille, France, part of the transportation plan designed to destroy the German supply network ahead of the D-Day invasion. LM-520 joined over 100 other Lancasters, but on the way back over occupied territory, it was intercepted by a night fighter and brought down near Forest-sur-Marque, 5 miles from Lille. There were no survivors. Of the 7 men on board, only 4 were recovered and buried. Sergeant Henry Charles Dixey was one of them. He lies with the other 3 comrades at Forest-sur-Marque Communal Cemetery. His family chose a simple but heartbreaking epitaph. Sleep well, son, your duty done. Aching hearts hold loving memories, till we meet again. Albert Glyn Coffin was also born in 1924, this time in Romford, Essex. He served as an air gunner, one of the most exposed and dangerous roles in the crew. Operating from a turret at the front or rear of the bomber, air gunners watched the skies for enemy fighters, often alone and without cover. On the 25th of May 1943, Albert climbed aboard Lancaster ED-834 for a massive bombing raid on Düsseldorf. Over 750 aircraft took part in the operation, but the target was cloud covered and the mission was deemed a failure. As the bombers turned for home, Albert's aircraft was intercepted by Werner Hopf, a night fighter pilot. The Lancaster was shot down near Vlissingen in the Netherlands. There were no survivors. Albert was just 19 years old. He and his crew were laid to rest together at Flushing, Vlissingen, Northern Cemetery. His headstone reads, "A memory that will never fade." But for Albert's parents, Albert and Mary Coffin, this was not the first tragedy. Just a year earlier, their eldest son, Ronald Idris Coffin, also 19, had been killed when his bomber was destroyed over Bremen. 2 sons, 2 airmen, 2 teenagers. Both now lie in foreign soil, and both headstones carry the same haunting words, a memory that will never fade. John Hinks, Henry Dixey, Albert Coffin. 3 names among over 850 from 9 Squadron who never came home. A scholar, a flight engineer, and a teenage gunner, all gone, all remembered. Their stories speak not only of courage, but of silence. Of the years Bomber Command went unrecognised, despite all they gave, today their names still matter, and their stories still deserve to be told. If you want to see more history brought to life like this, please consider subscribing or sharing a memory in the comments. Do you know someone who served in Bomber Command, or a name you've seen on a local memorial? Drop a comment. Every name has a story, because remembrance isn't just about the past, it's about honouring it and keeping it alive, lest we forget. If you like listening to the stories of the history of those who came before, then please give the video a like and subscribe to keep updated about future videos of the history of those who came before.